Hey, what is up, everybody? I know we're late. Shut up. I don't want to hear it. I'm very stoked to have you guys joining us here today. My name is Rafa Sparza. I host a little show called The Grappling Hour. Maybe you heard of it. If you haven't, welcome. We welcome you to this show either way. It's really not like we're going to sit here and judge you. But I'm stoked to bring on one of our friends. We'll get to him in a second. We're going to finish out the night long, strong, feeling it really, really well. And before we do, a couple quick little reminders. I want to make sure that you guys give some love to our sponsors. That would be NogiBJJGear.com. Use the promotional code GRAPPLINGHOUR15 to save, what's that? Excuse me, 15% off of whatever you put in your carts. Plus, if you guys want to give some love to our other fans and friends over at DodgyCollective.com, we'd be more than happy if you guys take care of them as well, because they're good people. All right, so the event that we've got going on today is none other than one UFC Vegas 16. I accidentally put the wrong date, so I'm actually, as I'm stalling here, and I'm going to use that as a professional term, I am actually going out of my way to make sure that I have the right branding that will be underneath here. But yes, it is UFC Vegas 16, and I'm a little sad that I didn't get to see my good friend, Jordan Levitt, the Monkey King, get away with a knockout slam of one Matt Wyman, and I could not be happier for that guy. He is a, what is we call it, Grappling Hour friend, but he also recently fought his way into the UFC via the Dana White Contender Series. So couldn't be happier for our pal. We'll obviously get to talking to him at another juncture in time, but in the time I have done the stalling, I'm also proud to tell you, look at this. I made the branding. See, look, it was all with good reason. And more importantly, we are going to bring on our good friend, a fan favorite, one might say, one Giancarlo, or as many of you know in the comment section and all around, one G Baby. G Baby, how are you doing, sir? It is a pleasure to see you again.
Thank you for having me, man. I'm glad to be back. It's one of my favorite shows.
Well, it's funny because you sent me a note. You're like, hey, man, obviously, I keep my Saturdays free just in case I might get a little call on the bat phone here. So that to me says, hey, dude, we haven't brought you on in a good amount of time.
No, I mean, I'm a huge fan of the show, so I'm just like, just in case I want to get on, and I'd rather be on here than to do a stand up gig anywhere else.
That's
So,
high praise, and we appreciate that, man, because again, you've been crushing shows and doing a number of different ventures. Have you been watching earlier tonight? And if so, can you catch us up on what you've seen from your perspective, sir?
so I'm gonna look at the card right here so I can remind myself what happened. The prelims was stacked. It was really good. The first fight was Jake Collier versus Gian Villante, and to tell you the truth, it was a kickboxing fight. Uh, but Jake Collier still moves like a middleweight, just the way he started. His footwork was crazy. Even though he got hit really hard by Villante, really hard, he kept going, won by unanimous decision. And then the second fight in that prelims was Ilya Tupuria versus Damon Jackson. Uh, Tupuria did such an amazing job with the body shots leading out to his knockout win in the first round. Damon Jackson's not a scrub. He actually did that upset submission guillotine win against Bektik in his last fight. So I'm really excited to see both of them back on the UFC. But Ilya Tupuria is a really strong contender in the featherweight division. And then Luis Smolka came back with a comeback of the night so far against Jose Alberto Quinones. Quinones was laying him with his striking. His footwork was beautiful. But then Luis Smolka in the second round did a beautiful hip toss, and then just finished him with a ground and pound. Then it was what you were saying about Jordan Levin versus Matt Wyman. Matt Wyman's no scrub. Matt Wyman was actually on the Ultimate Fighter season 5, the lightweights, whereas Jens Pulver versus BJ Penn, and Matt Wyman was pretty good. But in this, man, it was a really fast knockout slam by Jordan Levitt. This is him just starting to lift weights, so I'm really excited to see his career after this and his fights. And then it was just split decision, supposedly. Well, it's a split decision from Roman Dolidze versus John Allen, and John Allen and Dolidze. To tell you the truth, it wasn't a split decision. Like in my opinion, it was totally Dolidze's fight, but it was the same judge that scored that the split decision, the same one that
Well,
was scored it for
I
Feldman.
did catch just the tail end of that. However, I do want to make sure that we are not ignoring the action that is happening in front of us. So we got Benitez and Janes, and Janes is in the white trunks, and he is under duress this quickly. Benitez was coming in with some strikes. He finds a moment, gets his footing, gets a beautiful right hand there. He is finding that right hand a home on several different occasions here. But my God, talk about a little bit of back and forth action that we are seeing at this moment.
Would it surprise me if this becomes fight of the night of how back and forth this is?
I've been interested. Well, thank you first of all for that recap. We appreciate all of the work that you were doing. Like I mentioned, when I tell you, I'm like, yeah, I'll be around. You know, we'll see what time I get home. I didn't know it would be this late, and I'm pleased to be back here and chatting with you. So it's not for lack of wanting to get back here, but already we've got a good fight off to this side. So, giving all of this, in which you've seen here tonight, I mean, look at this, dude. The way that Janes is just trying to go up the middle here and get as many strikes in. I mean, listen, dude, he is pressing the buttons on the Street Fighter control that are literally just all murder.
Yep, it's all the buttons on that controller.
But he keeps going for that uppercut, dude. You can tell that he's got a really good series right there. I mean, he's got power to it. It's just, can he connect it?
He has beautiful octagon control and knowing like his distance when it comes to his reach. He comes in at the right time and comes out.
Have you seen him fight before?
No, I haven't really. And if I did, I don't remember, to tell you the truth. There's so many fights. There's so many fights.
That's fair. And you know what? This isn't a test, so we're not going to sit here and judge you for it. But we will say that it is hard to keep all of these ones together. James has been staying pretty busy as of recently. However, we will say he does continue to eat a few of these leg and body kicks as he does press forward.
Do you know anything about Benitez?
Benitez, I've seen fight. You know, here's what I like to tell people about. Do I remember them? What ends up happening is it takes me a round before I go, oh, you're that guy. So with Gabriel Benitez, his last two fights have been kind of spaced out. The last one was in May 2020, and he fought against Omar Morales. So he fought during COVID, but then the previous loss was back at UFC 241. So that's over a year and change at this point. We see a break in the action as the referee sends them both to their individual and respective corners, and it looks like there's a little bit of a stern talking to here.
I mean, to tell you the truth, man, the UFC roster is so huge.
Yeah.
It's so huge, and it's hard to like keep in track. But lately, it's kind of been easier just because you see these fighters that are coming back during this COVID era, like Holland, Chimaev. You got this heavyweight that moves like a lightweight as well. I forgot his name, but like these fighters are just constantly coming back, and they're just always just like, yeah, I'll stay in Vegas for like a couple of weeks to see if there's another fight.
Now, mind you, Justin Janes, you were asking if we're familiar with him. He's fought 3 times during the COVID era. Now, he fought Gavin Tucker, and he lost via submission on that one. That was back over in August. However, his last 2 wins were back in June and in May. So he had a quick 1-month turnaround, which is part of the reason why when you're like, do you remember him? I'm like, well, we've had a lot of time to see him during the past few months.
For sure. Yeah. Oh. Wow. That was nasty.
Yeah, you might actually be a smidge ahead of me because right now I have 1 minute left to go. So where are you on the fight? Yep, you're ahead of me. Yeah. And I like that I was about to ask a clarifying question, but that knee to the body definitely was not something you want to mess with. He is still on the ground, holding his side, and yikes. His opponent is trying to come over to pay him some respects, but what respect are you going to get there?
And not spoil it at the same time, because that was disgusting.
I mean, here's the nice part is, you gave me the preview by being, oh, and I go, okay, well, he's either ahead of me or responding to something that I didn't think was all that significant. Oh, there it is. Okay, and now he's dead. That will do it.
Yeah, dude, that was awesome. That was beautiful.
Well, it does fit nicely into, as we were mentioning a little bit before, Gabriel Benitez back in the winning column after 2 straight losses in the UFC. Before that, 2-win streak. So, obviously you want to get there. The elbow, though, right up at top, right when he drops it there. But let's look at this knee, and yeah, dude, that hits the sweet spot. My God.
Oh damn! With a Mexican flag mouthguard too. Represent.
I mean, listen, dude, you better represent. I saw people recently competing with a brand that said Mex Mob, and my first reaction was, how am I not in a Mexican mob? Like, I'd like to be a part of it. And then I guess one of my friends told me, they're like, well, aren't you just automatically in there? And I'd go, I'd like to think so, but they don't send me any emails, and I would like to be on that listserv if that's the thing.
They need to sponsor you ASAP.
And I went up to go talk to them a little bit afterwards, and I was like, yo, what's Mex Mob? And they're like, I think it's just the brand. And I go, so it's not a mob I'm not a part of? And they go, no, not at all. And I go, wait, that doesn't sound like you're being honest with me. I might not still be part of this Mex Mob, and I resent that.
Hey!
I would like to be a part of this, please. And it's always like so bad because you feel like the person that's just trying to like get in through some kind of weird quota system where you go, what paperwork do I need to fill out? I would like to be a part of this. Is there some sort of program that will put me in?
It's just like, all right, you guys should be over here, and you guys be over there, and yeah, you guys are part of your own mob. I want to be part of a Puerto Rican mob, man.
I mean,
in jiu-jitsu.
I was about to say, I was like, you're about to get some real bad spam emails coming in right now that goes, hey, G-Baby, Giancarlo, we heard that you were interested in being part of the Mafia. I also sell lots of gis and rash guards if you'd like to buy into that as well. Well, I'll be interested to hear Gabriel's post-fight speech, but I wanted to know if you wanted to take the first toast here, because we will hear him, and I will be glad to give him some notes in a second. But, sir, this toast will start and end with you.
For sure. Benitez, it was awesome. That was a great knee. Way to represent the other Mexican mob. With that dope mouth guard, makes me want to be Mexican, even though my girlfriend knows that I want to be Mexican because she's Mexican. So toast to you, beautiful knee. Cheers to another.
Cheers. I didn't know that last part was going to get so personal, being like, I really wish that I was Mexican. And I go, this just became like a Pixar movie where it's like, I wish I was Mexican the next day. Made from the makers of Coco. Cheers to you. Oh, we're off to the races. This feels great. And Phil Murphy is already saying that was a striking clinic, and it really was. And I mean, listen, dude, looking at those kicks, every single time he would wobble them, and I just love the fact that I have to respect also his opponent. Mine was like saying, listen, dude, I'm either going to win or fall on my shield, and the body kick every single time, it hurts me. It's when he like inches up, like his shoulders go above his head, or he just goes, ugh, and then like just automatically falls to the ground. It just feels so bad for him.
It does not feel good at all.
All right, so he's talking right now. I'm going to get a little bit of a synopsis of kind of what he is talking with Anik about. Anik's tie is pretty bomb.
Big time.
Ooh, that was not the voice I was expecting from that dude. I mean, I know he's Mexican, but I was not expecting him to be like, hey, man, what would you like to say about this win? Oh, I don't know. The win was good, and I'm so happy.
Assassin Baby has a deeper voice, dude.
It's Assassin Baby. Yeah, no shit, dude. Well, I'm going to go ahead and give this to people to see, just as a reminder, and I are closing out the night with some UFC Vegas 16 coverage. Join us. And as a reminder, if you guys give us a like and a share, we will give you a toast on air, just like we did with one Gabriel Benitez. Just looking at it repeats every time it comes up. It makes me feel weird. And dude, oh man, just seeing how much it off-based him. Ooh, the opposite angle of him just like, you know what it is? It's similar to when Hans Moleman falls after getting hit with a football in The Simpsons. He just kind of goes, bing, and then just falls to the side. Like, that's what that looked like in that finish. So, props to him.
For real, man. That was beautiful. And just to, now that we're in commercial, I just want to ask, are you excited about next Saturday's card?
Yes. And it's strange because I really wasn't expecting another like UFC card this quickly back to back. But before you know it, we're already going to be doing another over under Kevin. And somebody asked, wait, how often do you do those? And I go, every time there's a pay-per-view. And they go, oh shit, I got to shell out more money next week. And I go, you do, but there's at least some good things to talk about. What are your feelings to that?
Dude, I am excited. I'm really excited about the flyweight division. I think
Okay.
the fight of the year. You got Davison Figueiredo just bringing that hype back into it, and I've been a huge fan of Brandon Moreno since like that Ultimate Fighter season where it was just the one that wins gets to fight Mighty Mouse, and just to see him going from like losing to the first round to be the #1 contender for that championship is exciting. I love it, and then Ferguson Oliveira.
If you really think back to that, though, what a wild time that was to be like, we don't got anybody for Mighty Mouse, so y'all want to win a fucking trip to the chocolate factory? Because that's how we're going to give this one away.
And then Tim Elliott wins it when he already lost to Mighty Mouse, and they're like, ah, shit.
I mean, what a card to pull there where you go, dude, can it be anybody but him? Can we fight for a different title?
Yeah, right.
I'm just really not in the mood. Like, you ever get those people when you're rolling in jiu-jitsu where you go, no, pass?
All the time. All the time.
Because I always think to myself, listen, they're not bad and they're not going to hurt me. I'm just not in the mood right now. Like, you know, if you had caught me in that first roll, absolutely. I'm on my 6th, 7th, 8th roll, and I'm not here for it now.
I mean, I'm never in the mood to roll when I know Ruben is looking at me, Ruben Rivera, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've rolled a little bit with Ruben, and he's one of the few people who, when he teaches neon belly control, most people are shit at it, but he actually uses a very systemized pressure system, which then exposes the back. So he makes it so uncomfortable, and normally I can eat that pressure. When Ruben started putting that neon belly pressure on me, I was like, oh, am I giving up my back now? I don't want to do that.
Nate is the same way too, man.
I've had the pleasure of displeasure, I guess I should say, with Nate. And Nate was intrigued with what I was doing because he's like, you're aware of what I'm doing. And I go, yeah. And he goes, it's just less fun when you know what I'm doing. And I go, I would agree. It's also less fun for me because it's hard to stop, but it's still happening. And he goes, okay. And he tried to trick me into doing something. And then when I didn't fall for his bait, it's one of the few times you hear somebody go, oh.
We're trying to do Nasty in the Baby season 2 with the podcast.
Yep.
But I'm trying really hard, right, to get the Assassin Baby and Thug Nasty to guest host it for us. And they'd be like, wait, this is not the same podcast. Just for one episode.
That is pretty great. If you were to come in and be like, hey, no offense, Nasty, but Thug Nasty was available, and we never specified which Nasty is going to be hosting with me, so I guess that's your fault. Put that in the contract.
For real, man. Can you imagine just having Thug Nasty from Arkansas, and then you have Brandon Moreno from Tijuana just having a conversation for 1 hour, bro?
Oh, God. Gosh, what a fucking day, dude. That's so fucking funny to put that out there. And just, you know, Nate's probably listening to this and being like, you know what? Neither of you are my friends. I've decided this now. Nate will. So, a fun story about Nate is that I will put up, you know, John Jones memes or whatever, and he's the first to defend him at all times. And I go, why are you defending him? And he goes, Raph, I just really think this joke is inappropriate. I go, don't you chastise other people for doing the same thing? And he goes, yes, but this is different. And I go, oh, okay, well, thank you. And then he goes, you're right. But the minute I put up a DC, anything, if it's I don't like DC today, he goes, thank you. You shouldn't. And if I say, oh, DC's a good guy, he did this, he's like, we hate DC, Raph. And I go, no, I don't have time to hate people. You hate them. And I was like, you take the bait every time, dude.
It's hard to hate DC, man. He's such a dad.
He is a dad. And there are things that he does that I just kind of go, could you not?
Yeah, just like the way he touches like the fighters' backs, like he's like his son. Like I bet. Oh my god, I don't know how to react if that was me too, though.
To be fair, I think that DC has reached the point of being now to the point where he's retired, where he can do all of the like, ooh, I've been waiting to do all this, man. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna get in there, and now I'm gonna on Sunday, I'm gonna call my friend Ariel, and we're gonna cut some promos at the expense of other podcasts. And I go, Ariel Helwani or Helwani is not something I prefer. I'm not a fan of it because I go, listen, dude, I don't believe when Ariel Helwani goes 10-7 Helwani. And I go, bro, I heard the promo you cut. That was not a 10-7 in anybody's business. You're the reason we don't have good judges, my friend.
I think one of my favorite MMA podcasts, other than Verbal Tapcast.
Thank you.
Is the Anik and Florian podcast. That one's one of my favorites.
Oh, I want to go ahead and say it. I did know that. Do you know why I know that?
You're talking about my number one Spotify rap? Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. Let me see yours. Is any of my 3 podcasts on your top 10?
I'm sure I've listened to them. I just want to bring this up. When you put on other people's podcasts and you say, this reaches my number 1 spot, you didn't misrepresent them being like, oh, all due praise and respect to the Verbal Tap and the Grappling Hour podcast, one of my favorite shows to be a part of. And I was like, not according to this. I've looked at it. And so I've almost, to every person that's put that up, responded, where the fuck are we? And I feel like the real punishment should be that they have to leave us a review. They have to leave us a 5-star review. And I am not above shaming people. That is something that I do quite well. So I will probably reach out to these people. So all you have to do is go leave me a 5-star review. And then once I see you do that, I'll give you one.
I got you. I'll do it.
Fair. Now, I didn't specify which one, so that means you have to do both. And then I'll leave you, because you've got like 9 podcasts too.
I'll try to do all under your podcast.
I just feel bad because like anytime somebody mentions different shows, I just kind of they go like, how many shows do you have? And I go, we don't have time for that.
Yeah.
Like, let's just, I'm gonna pick 1 or 2 to talk about here. And they go, man, really just promote your shows. And I go, I'm gonna pick 2. And they go, I know there's another one. You don't need to talk about it.
It depends on my personality that day. I'll promote that one.
There was a time where I did, I think, 4 podcast drop mentions at the end. And somebody who I was guesting on their show, they go, holy fuck. That's the best I've ever seen it. And I was like, I've done it a few times. And they go, but I mean, you had it all down packed. And I was like, I better. Because if I don't, who is? It's not like I could bring in a surrogate and be like, oh, James is going to close me out, everybody. He's going to tell you the social media drop-ins. But it's been a blast. I'm done hosting. And this is basically my stunt man who's going to come in here.
Bro, the thing is, man, you got like these Spanish trap artists that will just say their artist name, who they represent, what studio they're recording in, and where they're recording at the end of the song all the time.
That's actually a great idea. I need to really branch myself out. I need to really get into Mr. 305 or some bullshit like that. And just end with like a brr, 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 and then like leave. Like that should be my call out. Well,
You gotta listen to more Bad Bunny, man. He just goes, yeah, and that's it, and he just leaves.
Bro, your love of Bad Bunny, it like you dropped the mention of it here, but you do love you some Bad Bunny. Where does that love begin?
Dude, it's just because he's the hometown boy, man. He's like the best we got ever since Mark Anthony and Ricky Martin. So we have to like shout him out.
There's something great about being like, yo, Raph, don't ruin this for us. We really need this. It's been a dry spell since Mark Anthony.
No, it's like his last album kind of sucked. I have to admit it, though.
That's fair, but you'll still sport it and give it some love. What I do appreciate, though, is, and I almost put this up before you did, but the kid from the Goofy movie, when I saw that up and somebody goes, I'm going to tell my kids this was Bad Bunny, I go, fuck, that's such a Hispanic fucking Puerto Rican joke that I go, can I put that, like, who's going to get that? And I go, really? I feel like I'm just putting this up for G Baby. And then I go, Giancarlo is 100% going to see it. And maybe a couple hours later, there it appears on your feed. And I go, it made it. Okay, good.
Yeah, man. It's so legit. It's such a legit meme.
But my appreciation when I saw that go up and I go, fuck, I don't think I've seen a more accurate call. And then thinking like, yo, I know the Goofy movie took a while to get some love, but people love the Goofy movie, so they definitely give that some love.
Sure.
It's like a good revenge of a movie because it didn't do big numbers, but it played well at everybody's homes where everybody goes, yeah, I fuck with the Goofy movie. And like people that you don't even expect, where they're like, yeah, dude, Aladdin wasn't my guy, but that Goofy movie. I mean, Max, you should have taken your dad up on that opportunity to hang out, man. You don't know how many days you got left with your son there. Like, come on, man, don't do this. Don't do this to me. And I'm like, oh, shit. The lessons that they were supposed to learn, they learned it now that they're a dad. And they're showing it. They're like, man, I get it now. You should have hung out with them, man. That wasn't cool, Max.
You pops. Yeah.
There's nothing more entertaining than watching people grow up and then like learn the lesson from the animated movie they were supposed to get 20 years ago. And I go, you just learn not to steal now?
There's still people that are still trying to learn their lesson. By the way, what are you drinking, by the way?
This is just water. Today I have worked too hard. And I can't, well, yeah, I can tell you guys who I'm interviewing next. So, my day will not be done here. I will close out with you, and then I have an interview with a certain athlete that just won a major fight, perhaps over in Asia, that will air tomorrow. So, I told that person who we may or may not have memed earlier this week, aka yesterday, and I told him, listen, dude, I'll be in a great mood because it would be after the Fight Companion, and I'll be plenty sauced. And I thought about it. I said, if there's any guest I shouldn't be sauced with, it's probably not him.
It's funny because he's always sauced without being sauced.
It is impressive. He is somebody who I don't think I've ever seen drunk. But I also know that I have to give him some shit. Because, if I don't, then people might think that we actually like each other, and I don't want that to happen. As we've seen many people in the comment section being like, you can tell this host, he just doesn't like him. And I think that's bullshit. He should really stop trying to be mean to him. And I go, if I'm so mean to him, why does he keep coming back for more interviews? Like, are you just not in on the joke and you're mad?
So funny.
As it was, when we put up the meme for Darkwing Duck, because that moron starts cutting a wrestling promo at the end of his fight, and he starts saying like, I'm the talons of this, I am Gary Tonin, and all I could hear was, I was like, this motherfucker is just doing a really shitty version of Darkwing Duck. Yeah. So I put the quotations over it. I show a couple people at my work who have no interest in MMA, and I go, what do you think? And they go, that's funny, man. I go, all right, it's gonna cross over, let's go. I put it, Gary loves it, so I feel good about that. But here's the issue, G baby. When I put that up there, and people in the comment section who go, actually, I think Gary was quoting Beowulf, so I just want to make sure. And I go, oh God, Gary doesn't read. Cut that shit out.
His ADD won't let him, man.
Somebody was like, that's not really a reading one. That's more of a listening one. And I go,
yeah.
Do you know where the source material is on this? Like, it's like telling somebody to be like, Oh, The Godfather the movie? Oh my god, somebody should make a book out of that.
Oh man, that's so funny.
Anyway, we're now at the fight. This is going to be interesting. Jamal Hill versus OSP. Did not know OSP is 37. It is difficult to ascertain an age for that young man.
I did not know he was 37 either.
The more you know. We all discover it here together. So,
I thought he was way younger than that.
bro, it's just because these people fight every once in a while. You go, nah, he couldn't be. Why would you fight it? Oh, okay. Good for you.
That's awesome.
All right, OSP coming in, and this is it. This is a huge pull for Jamal Hill.
Mm-hmm. How do you think this is gonna end up?
I don't know, man. I like OSP. I'm rooting for him. I'm nervous. There's something about becoming the old guard very quickly. And I'm not saying that because he's older. I'm saying when you've just been around for long enough that, like, it seems like some shit could just go sideways for you. That's more of what I'm saying here.
For sure. I hate seeing, like, people that have been at it for a long time, like, declining. I hate that. I like seeing them win.
And keep in mind, his last fight was back over in September, and he got a win, a knockout punch over Alonzo Menafield. And so you can't write him off. But then right before that, back in May, he had a loss against Ben Rothwell. So you start to get to a point where you say, dude, I just hope things work okay for you, man.
I just want you to have fun out there.
I mean, I wish I could say that to some fighters and be like, you know what? Let's just try to go and have some fun, guys.
I think that was like my attitude towards the Gaethje and Khabib fight, because I liked both fighters so much. I was like, I just want them to have fun out there.
I mean, I'm so glad that you showed up at the end of that fight and brought some orange slices for both of them. And just said, like, hey, you guys, come on. I made some orange slices for you guys and some Gatorade cubes. So, you know, let's shake hands. We're all going to go out to dinner now, right?
It was funny. I was watching that fight with Nate and Carlos Condit, and I was asking Nate a serious question, going like, what do you think is Khabib's, like, astrological sign? He's like, oh, he has total Leo energy. And Carlos was just like, is this how 10th Planet guys talk about fighting?
I mean, one of these days I'm going to do a real investigation into all 10P delicacies, because all of these different ethnographies you could do for the different regions, like, they change from place to place. But I would like to do a thing where I just go to each 10th planet and I just kind of, like, take notes in the background, like, okay. Interesting. I've become one of them. I have become a 10P freak this week. I have discovered that, yes, Keith has a stranglehold over the demographic by all of them eating gummy worms.
Then I'm excited for you to do New Mexico then, man.
Ooh. Nice 1-2 there by Hill. And he connects on the body a couple times. OSP kind of reeling back here with a few kicks. Oof. I like these kicks from Hill, though.
He's using his reach really well. I don't know who has the longer reach.
Great question. Would have been good if I could have looked at it, because I was way too stuck looking at how old OSP was. As soon as I got caught up in that, I go,
okay, I found it. Yeah, so Jamal Hill has a 79-inch reach, and then you got OSP at 80. So OSP has actually a 1-inch reach advantage.
virtually identical.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, he's making more of his reach, I guess, is the proper way to say it, because he is connecting there. But I think these kicks keep stunning OSP a little bit, and that's a smart thing to do, because that helps to pepper in some of these shots.
For sure.
So as we see OSP starting to back up ever so slightly, oh, nice kick there. He kind of off balances Hill for the first time. And Hill almost looked like he was coming in for a diamond cutter, but has to back away momentarily here.
Bang!
I try to, like, it's always so funny when I hear people being like, oh, the diamond cutter is basically the RKO, and I go, very different. Let's be very clear what we're saying here.
First of all, how dare you? Second of all, we're not friends anymore.
Well, I mean, I just always take it as a teaching opportunity where I go, I have been so privileged in my life. It's important for me to share that information with the less fortunate. So I must walk them through it as a truly educated pro wrestling fan.
Not even, bro. You have deserved the title as pro wrestling historian. You have the right to say that.
Oh, man. Yeah, no shit. Especially being a WWE BJJ pioneer, that all I have to do is just walk into a room and be like, excuse me, this was my seat. And they're like, I was sitting here, and I was like, well, are you a pioneer in any part of jiu-jitsu? And it's like, Raph, you're barely a pioneer. And I go, but I am a pioneer at something in jiu-jitsu. So but look at these stats right now. Hill is leading on the body shots, and he's only slightly behind on the leg kicks here as well, which is a very interesting stat here. So we will reach the end of the first round, and a very solid sort of approach here by one Jamal Hill, who will make a very nice statement against OSP. So, round number 1 in the books. Anyway, this is a good time to remind you guys, if you haven't followed us, follow us at all of these places. Well, bam. And, G-Baby, where can they follow you if they like you, man?
Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at GBabiesNotFunny. All the same. You can find me.
I still, to this day, every time you do the drop-in for G-Baby is not funny, I just think to myself, you know, what a bold thing to do is to just sit there and tell people, like, listen, follow me. I don't think I'm funny, but, you know, I just want to get in front of it. You know, it's good press, right?
It's a good conversation starter.
It has been very interesting to see all the different notes that we've gotten throughout the week and the weekend. I've been very appreciative of everybody reaching out. It's been, so good. It's very funny. I have to tell you a story one of these days. Remind me when we're off air. I'll tell you exactly what happened at a recent opportunity I just had. But now we go into the second round. Nice hand little bump between the gents here. Again, you've got OSP in the red and Hill in the black trunks.
By the way, I love your fan base. Every time I'm like on the chat, they always welcome me, and I'm like, wow, I'm loved here.
Yeah, I didn't understand that was going to happen that strongly, but I just love the fact that, like, especially Dane leading the charge of, like, it's G-Baby! And I go, Jesus Christ, is it Norm from Cheers now?
Yeah, right? I'm honored. I love your fan base.
You know, we have dedicated and friendly fans, and I was asked here earlier tonight, they go, are you still going to go live even though it's essentially late? And I go, well, 1, it is late, but 2, not my fault there was COVID. 3, looking back at this though, man, we haven't missed one weekend, so I know that they are a rabid fan base that shows up, but I almost feel like it's a responsibility to keep this thing going. The momentum is nice, and you don't want to get out of practice, man.
For sure. It's exciting though. You have a really great thing going.
You know, we love it, dude, and it's been fun to connect with people that you would normally... I mean, I would normally be just sitting at home watching the fights, COVID or no, and then all of a sudden you throw in the fact that everything has changed. You can't really get together with your friends, or you're not supposed to. We see a lot of people who do anyway. But as a result, you know, I've just kind of said, let's create a nice little community of people who want to talk fights and do that. And I've always thought about doing something like this, but now I have the means to do it. I have great people that we start to get engaged, and dude, I'm always surprised when we get people who show up, because I'm like, yo, you could be doing something else, but y'all are sticking around with us, and I think that's pretty dope.
No, even like when I'm not on the show, I still watch and listen to you guys while I'm like watching the fights, because like I'm the only one watching the fights at home. I like watching it with friends.
Yeah, and I mean, it's difficult because some people don't know that when you are watching it this fanatically, you are trying to ingest as many things as possible. So, I don't take weekends off, but Jesus, speaking of not taking weekends off, Jamal Hill gets a nice knockdown of OSP, and they are right back up to their feet, and he is clocking them quite nicely here. He is finding a home. Oof.
That was crazy.
It is staggering OSP, and I do not love his stance, and you are seeing Hill find some blood in the water and is being quite relentless here. And now OSP is trying to lock him up. I mean, if there's a time that he wants to get a Von Flute, it's probably this moment right here, right now, my friends.
Yeah, for sure. But Jamal Hill's been very impressive in this fight.
Absolutely.
Wow. He tends to go way too forward with his punches, but it's working.
Oof. Every one of these punches just looks like they have such heat on them. And dude, I mean, here's the nice part for OSP. It looks like he was bounced back into the fight off of the cage just after taking one really bad shot, which, keeps him upright, but then he's still in the fight. But man, does that look like it's hurting. I think the ref is very much looking into maybe putting a stop to this because OSP is on Dream Street, and yes, we do get a finish here, and appropriately so. Thank God, because I did not like where that was going.
Nah, me neither. I was feeling it, man. I feel like there's this density getting that each human has a certain level. And to tell you the truth, bro, sometimes when I sneeze, I kind of get I wobble myself because of how bad I sneeze. And taking a punch like that, I couldn't.
Let's differ.
Got hit in the head many times though.
Let's be very clear on how we differentiate these things. First and foremost, I hope that you don't have sneezes that are as powerful as getting punched in the face. That's a very.
I got punched many times that I'm I have a weak.
This is something I think that we tell a doctor or some sort, because I am not a professional enough to give you any advice here other than my concern.
I can't afford one, Raph. I can't afford one.
Jesus. Oh my God. Yeah, this took a real turn that I wasn't expecting here. Be like, hey, G-Baby, you doing okay? Raph, about these medical issues. I didn't really want to bring it up to you guys. But underneath, we will put a link to a GoFundMe. I'm not saying I will get a doctor, but it would get me closer to one if you could.
But I appreciate
it. There's something fairly beautiful to see still happening here. I do want to give the due respect over to one Jamal Hill, who we will do a toast for in just a few seconds here, so I don't want to lose sight of that. But what a fucking day at the office for OSP. I did not love how he was just hanging on for dear life on some of those punches, and I'm glad they stopped it. And I think you mentioned something, I think you were alluding to this, which is fighters really only have so much on their health bar, and this is just one fight. But the overall health bar, you figure, okay, listen, thank you, Jason Herzog, because that dude's life expectancy will probably still stay fairly better than it would had he not jumped in there.
100%.
But good Lord, what terrible thing to watch when you're just sitting there going, oh, no, it's bad. But at the same point, it's exhilarating because we are seeing the prominence of one Jamal Hill continue to find its point within the UFC, my man.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. Is OSP in the rankings, the light heavyweight division?
That's a good question. Let's find out. All right, OSP. Let me see here. This one was taking place. Yeah, this was his return to the light heavyweight division just a few months ago against Alonzo Menafield. But of course, tonight you were seeing it is Jamal Hill's night. I do want to hear what he is saying before I do the toast for him on this one, because he's looking like he's going to be pretty hype in this interview, if I'm guessing.
100%.
I mean, he's composing himself now, but I know the minute that John Anik comes in with his questions of, well, you look pretty good out there, we got to admit that to begin, but where exactly did you find those knockout punches from?
Gotta love Anik.
I mean, listen, bro. Ooh. I like that. I mean, it's been interesting to have boxing happening on these nights, too. It confuses me when we have a UFC and boxing night. Because I am seeing right here, ringside, Terrence Crawford is getting a close look at Errol Spence and Danny Garcia on my notifications, and he is front row for the boxing event that's happening later.
Ooh. Where's that fight area?
I think it's just back in there. The Vegas venue. Ooh. I like that you just tweeted out an hour ago. That was scary, by the way.
For sure, it was like that slam knockout that Eva did. I was just like, damn, I'm never gonna hold on guard if I'm like in the air.
God. I don't even disagree with you. That was scary. I just always have to get the context where I go, was there something else that was scary that I didn't know?
No, that was the scariest thing that I've seen so far.
Word.
Yeah, I didn't think you could get knocked out from a slam like that in guard.
Nobody does. And I mean, Jordan's such a weird, lanky type where he's somebody who can pull off some weird ass shit. That's not the weird ass shit I would expect.
No, because it was like a short slam too. Like that's what I was just seeing.
Yeah. So, Anik is saying you basically were able to connect on 60% of your strikes. And listen to this. Hill already putting OSP over, saying he is a legend. It was an honor to compete against him. All the right things you want to say here. Oh, well, toward the end, it got a little confrontational with the people who have been watching. He's like, yeah, I just want to let you guys know, those of you who've been talking shit about my game, just keep watching.
I'm sorry, dude.
Okay, he's saying, you know, he just listens to his coaches and just wants to do the right things over in the octagon. And he feels like he was able to do it tonight. I would agree. And Anik is basically saying, you know, you had some leg kicks that were coming your direction, but you moved really well throughout it. So they're probably going to do a little bit of talking through the finish here. I love that. He goes, even me just touching you, that's going to hurt. Love it. Touch 'em Up University? We'll work on that name branding there, though, bud.
I do want to see him fight outside of the rankings first, a little bit more, before getting the rankings.
That's fair.
Just to build up that hype.
So I think Anik is also saying, hey, man, you were getting some tweets and some notifications from John Jones. How does that feel? And I think he's putting him back over and saying, like, yo, that is pretty good to see. Look at this. Dane Donovan back on the show says, sorry, gents, had USC class. Bummed I missed this podcast. We need G-Baby back soon. Okay, so Dane, just to let you know, we didn't do any other show. You're kind of catching it as it's happening, so my apologies that we weren't on earlier. You're actually here for the thick of it. And we're going to finish out the night strong. We still got the main event, and then we're going to call tonight. And then tomorrow, just to give you guys the preview, the true fans, the people who are here right now, you will have Gary Tonin and Cade Rotolo on this show. So we will be talking with the young Rotolo brother about his epic, and I mean, motherfucker was savage against PJ Barch, one of the most difficult people in not just the 10th Planet system, but in all of grappling today. And that is going to be a huge conversation to have with that young man. I felt bad because they go under one name, the Rotolo twins, on their Instagram. So it was kind of weird to hit them up and be like, hey, Cade, can I get you on the show? No disrespect, Ty. Love you. You're the homie, but God, there's no way of saying this. Can I get the one that won?
Yeah, for real, dude. I mean, you have people that have Instagrams for their cats. Like, why can't they just have separate, like, Instagrams? Am I right?
I mean, maybe they just figure, you know what? I don't really want to run this Instagram, so we got a good thing going. We got over 80,000 people who follow us.
For sure, for sure. I'm excited for that interview. I love Gary.
And I see here it says from Dane Donovan, G Baby is a meme lord. Where does that come from, G Baby?
Dude, it's a lifestyle, you know. And like my circle, we're like, you know how there's the Danaher Death Squad, right? But then
Yep.
I have that page, I have Nasty Nate Harris and myself. We're sharing memes to each other all day. We're perfecting our craft, right? And then we show it to the world. And then, like, you know, we're just changing the game.
This motherfucker's talking about his posse. I'd be like, yo, man, me and my crew, we're just trying to change the game one meme at a time. I show him stuff, he shows me stuff. Like, dude, we're trying to be the Danaher Death Squad of memes in jiu-jitsu. And I'm like, what the fuck did I just hear? I guess we should talk about this because I haven't talked with you about it. But do you feel entrenched upon that they're sending Gordon to your hometown? And not just Gordon, but the whole crew?
I'm frustrated, bro. I'm frustrated because
Okay.
I'm like, wow, we just waited 3 years, and I could have had the best jiu-jitsu of my life.
Oh no!
I'm kidding, no, but like, it's exciting, especially for the island. I mean, there's gonna be a bunch of jiu-jitsu guys back in Puerto Rico that are like, that sucks, my business is gonna crash, and it's just like, hey guys, you know, the best of the best is there. Learn. And, you know, you can just give it out on the other side of the island. There's the West Coast where the surfers are at.
Can I bring this up to you, which is that you have a moniker of being a pretty prominent Puerto Rican, but now you're getting Puerto Ricans that are going to walk in and be like, oh, is it Danaher Death Squad? Let's just walk in and see what happens. Now you're going to have more competition for being a notable Puerto Rican who happens to be good at jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm excited because the jiu-jitsu community there, they need something that... Like, just the martial arts community, in my opinion, they need something that prestigious there. So, in my opinion, it's a great thing happening. A lot of bullshit's just gonna clear out for sure in that little island, and it's gonna be a lot of great things happening coming out of my home.
Well, you did a good job of putting that all over. Now let's get to the important thing. At what point is Gordon going to find out about Puerto Ricans' politics?
Woo! He's gonna be so frustrated. He's gonna be so frustrated. He thinks that the U.S. is a little bit frustrating. Wait until Puerto Rico. It's so bad. It's so bad over there. So corrupted.
Think about how many people have ever said this. Man, I'm so tired of the corruption here in my home state of New York. I know the solution. I'll move to Puerto Rico. Problem solved. Like,
there's less freedom there. You can't buy alcohol from Friday to Monday, and you have to be home by 9 p.m. If not, you get arrested.
Well, it doesn't sound like anything is happening now, so they'll be fine. And you know what the weird part is? That's just because of COVID.
Yeah.
And that was just why he felt the need to move. But now, without COVID, does that still apply? Is that still the rule that happens out of COVID, or is that something that happens because of COVID, where you have the 9 p.m. restriction, you can't go out during the weekends?
No, I mean, we do have this thing called Ley Seca, which is on the weekdays by 11 p.m. you have to go home. Like, you can't buy alcohol after that time. And then in the Friday and Saturdays at 2 a.m. But it's because Puerto Ricans tend to drink a lot, like myself. This is my second beer. I'm ending it though. But there are so many people that are levels higher than me that are just like, just 2 beers? I can go for 15.
Well, okay. I do want to bring up a note here that says, from Adam Woods, it says, pretty prominent Puerto Rican, or PPE, or PPP, sorry. Yes, true. You are a pretty prominent Puerto Rican. There is that. Maybe we should work with that as part of your big baller brand sort of out there. The thing that I just tried to realize, though, is I just said it feels like you've solved one problem and gone straight into another, but is there going to be any like target on his back being this giant white dude walking around where they're going to be like, who the fuck's this gringo?
Nah, he's in the white neighborhoods of Puerto Rico. He's fine.
Is there a place he shouldn't go to then?
Uh, I mean, La Perla was like a dangerous place, but now Angela Mangana is there. She has her gym over there. Uh, that used to be very dangerous, but I think this is long. Maybe Ponce. That's pretty dangerous, which is in the south, but it's pretty far away from him. It's like far drive, and Puerto Rico's an hour, so he's not gonna deal with it.
Can you imagine though? Gordon savagely beats up all these MMA fighters and jiu-jitsu practitioners only to succumb to the Puerto Rican fucking mobs over there that just go like, we took out a guy. And what's the guy? I mean, I just got his phone. He's got 300,000 followers.
I would love for him to go to Aguada just to like teach jiu-jitsu for a seminar for sure.
Now look at this. It says PPP versus GGG in combat jiu-jitsu. Who wins?
Triple G for sure.
I mean, Triple G's pretty good. I would like to give it some combat jiu-jitsu love there, but I don't want to strike with that dude, man.
No, me neither, man. I mean, like, no, he's gonna knock me out with just one slap. And let's not talk about Triple C. He'll maul me.
Oh, I just gotta ask. I don't think we ended up doing a cheers for Jamal Hill, correct?
No, not yet.
All right, let's do that right now. This cheers goes on out to Jamal Hill. Congratulations to you, man. I gotta tell you, man, I'm glad that Herzog called that one off because I got concerned for OSP. And all due respect to you, giving all due respect to OSP, calling him a legend. But hey, man, you're a legend in the making right now. Appreciate what you're putting out there. Cheers to you, good sir.
Cheers.
Please don't ever hit me in the face. I don't want to go to whatever hitting university you were saying on there. Like, can you imagine going to a university where they hit you kind of like that? And be like, nah, bro, hear it. Hit you up or touch you up university. And be like, well, what's the recommendation to get in? And be like, oh, you got to have references. What are the references? They got to beat the shit out of you?
I would have dropped out of college way faster.
You're going to see a few of my friends, like Mike Froster, that's like, oh, you mean These Hands University? You want to catch these hands right now? Beautiful to see here. What's up, man?
What's your opinion on Vittori versus her Manson?
I mean, sure, let's do it. That's kind of where I'm at, you know? Like, I'm at a point where I'm thinking we've had so many UFC cards in a row that as we're starting to get toward the end of the year, we had a big one go out, a big few, especially today, 3 of them going out. And Jimmy Flick, who I really wanted to see fight, we've been in talks to kind of chat with him. Unfortunately, that got canceled. So I feel bad about it. But, dude, we're just all trying to make do here and see how we go. But that's a fight that does have some interest to me. I don't know. Hermanson's got some heat on him, dude.
And he's the underdog.
Absolutely. And who was he supposed to fight originally before?
He was supposed to fight Kevin Holland, but he got
Thank you.
tested positive for COVID. And then now it's Kevin Holland versus Jacare because Vittori was supposed to fight Jacare.
You know what? Fine. Again, that's where we're at right now, you know?
Yeah. Gotta roll with the punches, to tell you the truth.
Absolutely. I want to give some thanks to all of you guys who are watching along with us right now. We've had some comments. We've had some love. I'm going to go ahead and give a quick toast on out to Dane Donovan. Look at this, Dane Donovan. Appreciate you always showing up back up. We love all of your support here on the show. This toast goes on out to you, bud. Much love and appreciation.
Cheers.
All right. Look at this. A stoic walkout with a little stank face in the face. And that's how you know we're off to the races. Jack Hermansson versus Martin Vittori. And Jack, man, dude, he made grapplers have an inch of hope here with all heel hooks now.
For sure. I mean, it was really impressive. And I feel like people are sleeping on this main event.
Why do you feel that?
Because Vittori, I think he's the only, split decision loss of Israel Adesanya.
Fair
He's
enough.
a he is a monster. And then you got Hermanson, who's on a really great winning streak when he beat Gasler with that heel hook too. And Vittori's a very strong wrestler, I think, in striker.
Nice.
And but Hermanson's a very strong striker, but his jiu-jitsu is pretty legit.
Well, speaking of Kelvin Gastelum, he just wished good luck to his boy Vittori, and he's like, "Man, wishing the best for him. I know he's gonna get it done here tonight." Think about that revenge policy right there for him to be like, "Yo, dude, I'm on a highlight reel. If you could just rectify that for me, that'd be great."
It's gonna be a good fight. I mean, especially because I bet it just changes the game plan for sure, especially for Vittori, who's you know was thinking of ballet against a grappler, so he's probably thinking about like wrestling defense and then just keeping it on the feet against Jacare to like now Hermanson, who's pretty like you don't know what's gonna come with the Joker, you know. I I can't hear you, Ruff.
My apologies. I did take it for a split second to just mute myself. But yes, I appreciate you for letting me know that. What a freaking day, my friends. Woo! All right, I'm going to ask you guys who are in the comment section or who are watching along with us, let us know who you think is going to win before we start the fight. You might still be a split second ahead of me, G baby, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. They're in the tail of the tape right now.
All right, excellent work there by you giving us the coverage. Look at that. Jack just focused, man. I like it.
Mm-hmm. And then Jack has a reach of 77.5 inch.
Oh,
While,
no.
Corey has 4.
And I mean, they're essentially the same height here. Oh, I noticed you're doing what I'm doing, so I'm gonna.
I'm sorry, I didn't even
It's okay.
notice.
I looked up at the monitor and I was like, bro, please don't do what I'm doing. I don't need a shadow. And my first thought is always, honestly, are you mocking me? And I'm like, chill the fuck out, dude. This is my show. Only one person gets to do one certain gesture at any given time.
I'll just do this then.
Fair. See, that's a money pose right there. Most people can't pull that shit off, but you're doing it quite nicely.
Thank you, thank you.
All right. So they're going through the introductions. The boxing event, I believe, is at its main event as well, if you guys want to watch that. We're going to stick here with the UFC because this is just where I'm at. So appreciate y'all for watching us here tonight. Be taking your questions, comments, concerns, hints, allegations. I have not heard anybody say who they think is going to win, so I'm waiting for that to happen in the comment section.
I'm going for Hermanson.
You're going for Jack? Okay. I think I'm with him too, dude. I want to see that momentum continue on. I want to see where he can continue to go.
Me too. Did you watch the DC and Helwani show the last one?
I didn't, but what are you specifically referring to here?
So Vittori went up to DC, I think for another fight, but went up to DC going like, yeah, why were you commentating on the side of Israel while I was fighting him? That was not cool. And like DC was just like, dude, I'm just doing my job as a commentator. I just thought he was winning the fight. He's like, yeah, but that wasn't cool. You were just more on his side.
Oh
Just
shit,
totally
dude.
confronting him. And I was like, "Damn, that's intense."
Yeah, I don't think I'm prepared for people to do that with me. Half the time I just go, you deserved it. You deserved to lose, and I was glad to comment that you lose.
I
Take
would've been
that.
like, dude, I was just wearing glasses, like I can't see that well.
I
I'm
just-
just commentating what I see.
I'm glad you have a fail-safe exit strategy for all this. Me? What are these glasses? I can't see out of without these. And they're like, huh? What the fuck did
I'm
you just
only
talk
5'4", man. Like I'm not gonna win that.
about? Good call, and I appreciate you for being quite forthcoming with it. But look at this. On my side right now, I'm seeing them all business between the two. And we're going to see them back on over and get straight to work. G-Baby, walk me through a little bit of what you're seeing on your side right now.
So right now they're just filling each other out. Jack is just, being orthodox while Vittori's being southpaw. Jack just landed a nice calf kick. Right now, they're just feeling each other out. Jack is using his reach better than Vittori is, just circling to his right side and just feeling it out for now.
Fair
I'm at
enough.
4 minutes and 28 seconds right now.
Did you say 4:28?
4:28 now, 4:22, 21, 20.
All right, so you're about a good, almost like 30 seconds or somewhere in the 20-second region ahead of me. So you'll be speaking a little bit more in the future, but I'm going to give you a nice summarization as to what I'm seeing. You mentioned the feel out there. Vittori just got a nice little jab there, so good on him for finding a little bit of that reach. Vittori, as you mentioned, very much has the advantage on the reach, so it'll be interesting to see how he keeps them both at bay and utilizes that. Ooh, nice on the button there for Vittori again. Martin looking pretty crisp on his striking thus far in.
For sure. I feel like it's good on both parts because you see Manson just landing like leg kicks, just feeling it out, just using his leg reach, really. Just using the distance as a kickboxer, then Vittori's using his distance as a boxer.
Ooh, and you are seeing Vittori. He is eating a few of these jabs, but he is catching Manson, and all right.
Beautiful counter striking. Oh man, Vittori's just landing these left hands.
Yeah. Oof, this is not where you want to be. This is how things go sideways very quickly here.
Beautiful right hand from Manson.
Oof.
Nice
Oof.
too.
These continuous, almost like rock'em sock'em moment gestures from Vittori here.
Vittori is doing a beautiful job with the distance, just feeling it out with the front hand, with the left hand.
Yeah.
With the right hand, actually, his leading hand, and then landing that left hand. Oh. Okay.
I'm glad that you have a way of like telling me that stuff is happening right now. So I am very much looking forward to seeing the future you're looking at right now. And yup. All right, Vittori looking strong here, putting some hurt on, and Jack is not looking good. It looks like they might stop this one, but hold on. Jack finding his way up, and Vittori just unleashing, and kind of getting a nice little front headlock here, maybe turning it into a guillotine from my perspective. Nope, decides fuck that. Let's continue on, peppering him with a few shots, goes back to the guillotine again. He's still in half guard, and I think the nice part about setting that up is he just basically said, you know what, I'm not quite 100% ready to go ahead and finish you, so a nice way to continue setting up the guillotine here is to bash your face in.
For sure. Now Manson has like this nice butterfly guard, almost this K guard thing going on.
What a time to put that in. If there's any time you need a guard to save a little bit of your life, this is that time. This is what we learn jiu-jitsu for.
For sure.
And let's remind everybody, it is a 5-round fight, and this is how we're starting it.
Yeah, this is not gonna... I don't think this is going 5 rounds.
No, not either way right now, but yes, we're talking about these double overhooks that we're trying to give him some life here, but just being pressed up against the cage like this is not fun. Oh god. Yeah, and here's the thing, I'm looking and reacting at stuff that happened maybe 20-30 seconds behind you, and you're making the same face I am as I'm seeing it at the very beginning.
This gives me anxiety to watch.
Yeah, but again, if there is any way you're gonna go ahead and continue to make things unpleasant for your opponent, this is a pretty good game plan for rocking them and making them play your game. So kudos to him thus far in.
For sure. I mean, Hermanson's doing a great job with his guard retention and just playing with his half guard, but he keeps getting his neck. Oh wait, no, he just left. He's guard retention, man. Hermanson's guard retention is at another level too, though.
Love it. It is looking quite nice here. And Jack doing the necessary steps here to, as you mentioned, the retention's good.
Manson just stood up and the round ended.
Woof.
That was intense.
Do you feel your anxiety went up a little bit thus far?
Oh, sure. I might need another drink after this fight.
Understandable, and like I said, man, you're keeping it all together pretty well here. But even as Jack walked over to his corner, he looked a little like when they ask if you're okay to drive, and you're like, I'm fine. You kind of have that little wobble step to you. You're like, that's what we were looking at right now.
Bro, he got so mauled. Is that the point that when I get mauled, when I have like a long drive back after the gym, I don't have the music playing. I'm just thinking the whole time. Like I feel for him after that round. Hopefully, this is the point where he's like, all right, it's either I I bring myself up and I'm gonna like kill him, or
Yeah.
I'm going down. Like that after that is psychologically damaging.
I mean, dude, just from that first major knockdown though for Vittori, like that could have been a fight ender right then, right now. And
Sure.
you are seeing a very appropriate 10-9 in favor for Vittori. We'll see how things even out, if they do, in this next round. Woo! All right, we're back off to the races, and Jack looks motivated. He's like, damn, dude, I did not appreciate any part of that round.
Uh,
He is finding a little bit more in his range here, but Vittori's going to take a few moments to kind of feel him out once again and say, like, all right, man, I understand it. I see from Adam Mart here is begging for the 10-8. Ah, that's a tough one. I mean, that was pretty aggressive, and I do really appreciate how that's playing out. Look at Bilal Muhammad saying, keep punching.
yeah. Keep punching.
Ooh. Jack was trying for this takedown here, and he is holding on to that single leg for dear life. He definitely
sure.
wants to finish that.
I mean, he's still working for it, and he lands it.
He does, but
then,
oh no, Vittori's back up on top. No.
Man, I feel for him because that happens to me so many times.
That's what we always tell people. It's like wrestling's fake. Don't do that shit. Pro wrestling's real, and real wrestling's fake in MMA. Everybody knows that.
Oh man, I mean, if Hermanson didn't have a great guard,
Yeah.
he would have. Yeah. Oh man. Oh, okay. Wow, that was a good transition.
Walk us through that transition that you were giving some props to here.
So Hermanson was going for an omoplata, but Vittori was just going over, just went straight to side control. But then Hermanson got his guard back and went straight to Z guard to almost a K guard. Now it's back to a K guard, but Hermanson has the underhook. Now Vittori has the underhook, but then Hermanson has butterfly hooks. Vittori's now in his it's just transition after transition.
Yeah.
And right now he's back into the Z guard. He got the underhook again. Now he's trying to get to the butterfly guard.
Can we talk a little bit about Hermanson's the back of his trunks? It looks like something was like dropping out of it, like it's the stitching is like coming off of it, but there's like some sort of tail that's happening on the back of it. To me, it looks like he's almost mic'd up there, and I wasn't sure if I was seeing things, but it looks like the dude has a little bit of a little pigtail at the end of that one, like a curly fry.
Who knows, man? He's probably in a reality TV show in Europe.
I mean, the other thing that I thought of was I just go, yo, how bad is this Reebok stitching that they don't even care anymore? They're like, we're not even going to be with you anymore, so fuck stitching these together. Hey, low price. Hey, listen, illegal immigrant children that we're having make these, you get the day off. We're done making the UFC gear. No more UFC kits for you guys.
I know. They're like, you know what? Venom's taking our spot anyway, so fuck them.
Absolutely. They don't deserve to have anything good to them.
I wonder how that gear is going to be like.
Don't know. It's going to be an adjustment. Because as it was, Reebok has become so synonymous with it. And look at this. The butt scoot in an MMA fight is always so foreign to me. But he gets up with his technical stand-up. And I don't know that you see Jack really wanting to exchange here. The look on his face seems to say, hey, can we go back to the ground? Because I do not like getting punched in the face by this man.
Get back in my quad. Let's get back to my guan.
Jesus. Look at the power here from one Vittori. My God.
Yeah, it's disgusting, dude. I mean, I'm excited to see Vittori like get more experience to fight Adesanya again. Actually,
Absolutely, man. And we were mentioning a little bit earlier just how clean and crisp his strikes look here. But look at the output from Jack. Jack's trying to find in with these jabs, but there's no real power to them. Switches on over to a kick, doesn't really connect that well, goes to the body, but again, not really all that concerned here. Dane Donovan says, I hope it's going to be better for the fighters than the Reebok deal. Yeah, dude, I was hoping that there would be at least something decent coming out of the Reebok deal, and we've seen nothing but terrible things happen to the fighters. I do wonder if it will still be not super favorable.
I'm not having my hopes up. But hey, man, this might be a chance for Brendan Schaub to come back.
It was, yeah, I was about to say. Don't get me on my Brandon Schaub material. I don't need to do that right now. Dane Donovan also said that LFA main event last night was crazy. So I didn't get to see that one. I will take a look at it later this week. But I definitely saw the results. And yeah, it definitely looked like it was going to be something else. It's going to be wild. G-Baby, I'm going to use the restroom real quick, but I'm going to give you the floor. Go ahead and hold it down here. BRB, sir.
Good. So we just saw that it's the second round. I feel like that was still Vittori's round. So far, I have that. I think that was 10-9 Vittori. The next, let's see how this goes. Vittori still looks pretty fresh. I don't know how Jack Hermanson is doing. To tell you the truth, after a fight like that, I would be mentally defeated. So it just takes a certain type of beast just to keep on going like that. All right, Hermanson's putting the pressure. Body kick. Vittori landed with his body kick. Then Vittori, and then it's like a inside leg kick. But Vittori's using his jab pretty well. But then Vittori's using his jab, going for the left. And then you see Hermanson's just circling to his right side. Well, to Vittori's right side. They're just testing each other out so far. I feel like Vittori's just being really aggressive in this fight. He has that knockout power just to end at any moment. He still looks fresh. Hermanson's actually being the aggressor though, but Vittori is such a great counterpuncher. I'm really excited to see that. Hermanson answered with his right hand. Beautiful head kick, but was guarded by Vittori. Beautiful jab by Vittori. Oh, man. Ooh, Jack Hermanson goes for a single. Let's see if he can finish this takedown. Vittori's has that whizzer going on. Defends it pretty well.
So what have I been missing in the time that I went to go to the restroom, sir?
So far, Jack Hermanson was going for his single leg. Vittori defended it pretty well. But Hermanson's being the aggressor in this fight, in this round. But Vittori's just answering with beautiful counterpunching.
Well done. That's some good shit, man. Oof. What?
Another single leg.
I mean, I guess that's the most effective thing that he's done thus far in, so not going to hate on it.
No, I think it's really impressive, too. Like, he almost landed that single leg, too. But Vittori's just a beast, man.
I see what Dane Donovan's saying here. He says, Brendan Slob was making like 6 figures from sponsors. Didn't know that, but it does make sense.
My favorite YouTube comment was when Brendan Schaub announced he was going to comedy, everyone laughed, but nobody's laughing now. That one killed me, bro. Killed me.
Oh my god, yeah. I mean, listen, dude. Brendan Schaub doing comedy is still to this day something that I think I'm going to have to explain to future generations of comedians when I go back and tell them the hard times and I go, yeah, there's a dude who got tired of fighting and just kind of decided, you know what I'll do? Stand-up comedy. And because he had a really prominent set of friends who were in that scene, somehow got a free pass to do things that he wasn't deserving to do.
Listen, He is the most successful failure of all time. And he really showed that it doesn't matter how good you are, just as long as you know how to network, you can make it.
I don't disagree with you. That actually sounds like a pretty good summarization. Uh, Not something that I want to fully endorse here, but dude, talk about right now Jack Hermanson's face.
Yeah. Jesus. I mean, dude, Vittori just looks fresh out there.
Just to kind of continue on, Dane Donovan says he has so many people that follow him yet hate him. Yes, and it says the comment section in all of his podcasts are fire, bro. I can't with it.
Yeah, it's so good.
What do they say there? Because I only see people when they talk shit about him in some other region. I don't go to that. What are they saying about him? If you're saying it's so fire,
I mean, I feel like when I watch King of the Sting, a lot of people, because they roast each other on the show, the comment section tends to roast them too. Um, there was like I just hear like, oh, Brendan Schaub looks like a bouncer at a Zoomies, or Brendan Schaub looks like he's a bouncer at like a very bougie cannabis dispensary.
that's
Which
right
they're
up your
not
alley,
wrong.
which is good for you.
I was like, that was gold.
I like that you're
It's
sitting
like,
there being like, "Yo, that joke fucks."
yeah, for real. My favorite one is about the Ovando, that he looks like a guy that would hiss in a street fight.
These are all pretty good. Huge
Yeah,
fan
for
of
real.
all of them. Hey, Jack Hermanson's maybe finding a little bit better resolve here in the last 20 or so seconds of this third round.
He's finding his rhythm for sure.
So earlier, Dane said they call him a power bottom and they make fun of his skinny jeans. Yeah, I mean, dude, I get it, man. I just try to spend as little time possible having to talk about him because I know if I do, it's not going to be good. But if somebody does ask me my opinion of him, I just go, no, I don't. And we get plenty of people who go, oh, I really like him. And I go, okay. Like, end of sentence. We don't need to go anymore. And they says they make fun of his sodium intake. Like, is that something that we're really insulting here? Like,
I
weird.
mean, it's fire, dude.
Oh, God.
It's like Brendan Schaub by himself is not as fun as he has with like a co-host. Brendan Schaub as a
Gotcha.
co-host, he's a good supporting host. For sure.
Gotcha. Okay. That is good to note. I just always thought at the very beginning, I was like, well, I like Brian Callen, but I don't like him. Now look at this. Hermanson also was leading in this round on strikes, 27 to 16. So he is putting it together a lot better here in that third round, but he's still got a little bit of a deficiency to make up for because Vittori definitely had those first two rounds to begin with.
Manson actually looks more aggressive in this round. He's just leading up with those jabs, and he looks actually more fired up than anything.
Here we go.
So this is where it's gonna get good. It's like when you watch an NBA game.
Yeah,
It's like it's only the third and the fourth quarter that actually matters. This is how it feels like right now.
absolutely. Enjoying the notes that you're putting on out there. So, Dane Donovan did ask, where is Kellen? He's not on Canceled Island, but he's definitely on an adjacent version of that island.
Yeah, he's doing conspiracy. He's doing a conspiracy show with what's his name, Sam Tripoli.
Oh, is he doing that right now? Is that what he's up to?
Yeah, he's doing a conspiracy, and then he's doing an audio book club.
I was better not knowing. If I'm being honest, I probably didn't need to know all of that nonsense.
There is a rumor though that I read on Reddit that Brendan Schaub is actually gonna cancel The Fighter and the Kid and bring up a new podcast. He's gonna come out with 4 new podcasts in 2021.
Why? Well, I mean, I know why, but
Yeah.
it just seems weird. But it wouldn't be with Kellen, though, right?
I think it's gonna be with Callan because of sponsorships.
This feels weird, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Walk me through what you're seeing right now on your earlier side on the broadcast here, sir.
Manson is actually doing pretty good in this round. He's landing a lot more punches than Vittori. Going in and getting out. He found his rhythm in the end of the round, third round. For so far, Hermansson's actually winning this round.
This could become a little bit more of a competitive contest than we were thinking it might be, especially in those early rounds.
It's going to be an actual justified split decision with this one, I think.
Interesting. We're getting there.
Yeah. No, this is good because I see Vittori slowing down and Hermansson's just being very aggressive. I think Vittori's just using most of his gas tank in those early rounds, and Hermansson's just taking advantage of it.
Yeah.
And he's also the more muscular type, so those muscular types get tired.
That'll teach him.
Joel Romero. Joel Romero's a beast, though.
Well, he's no longer around, so I do love the fact that that's when you see Darren Till saying he would take the fight with Yoel.
I love Darren Till's Instagram, man. He's such a professional shit poster. Oh man, Hermansson is getting it done this round.
Good for him, man. And we need to see a little bit more of a competitive vibe here, closing out the day.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad, man, because all these fights were ending really shortly. And there was like 3 fights that got canceled. Then we were running late, and I was like, man, this is gonna be a short one.
Absolutely, dude.
Ooh, Hermansson, man, is killing it. Beautiful uppercut.
Yeah. The note from MMA Fighting says Vittori showing a lot of patience as Jack Hermansson is really getting into his face.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I feel like Hermansson's actually landing more punches than Vittori, though.
I would agree. I think it's hard to keep a tally when you've seen... sometimes you get those first 2 rounds and then you just comment on those first 2 rounds. They leave an impression in your brain that makes it seem like it's going another way. But the momentum is clearly shifted, in my opinion. It doesn't mean that Vittori is just being sloppy. He is picking his shots pretty well, but Jack is fighting back. And look at these stats right now. Hermansson's 24 of 87, but Vittori is still ahead on significant strikes. And that was supposed to be a round-by-round analysis there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, Vittori's a great counter-striker for sure.
Oof.
Man. That was a good round. I felt like that was more Hermansson's round, though, but I'm not sure.
I think at this point we're seeing it kind of go all over the place, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But that's kind of fun. It makes it a little bit, if you're going to have a decision fight, this is kind of the way that you want to see it. And Dane Donovan chimes in and says 2 things. One was one apace. And the second, I'll let you take this one, but it says, Yoel going to Bellator ?
Man, to tell you the truth, I would love to see Joel Romero go to ONE FC and have a TRT versus TRT against Vittori. That's my dream matchup.
Wow, you're trying to kill a man here. It's really what you're trying to do.
Hey, bro, it's the Sammy Sosa versus Mark McGuire of our time, bro. We need to make it happen.
It's the summer of swinging out to the fences, the Bash Bros. That's what you want going on in all of UFC, of being like, oh man, give them all the steroids they can take. Pew, 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 pew.
Let's see our super soldiers, man.
Well, speaking of which, we're in the final round here between Jack Manson and Martin Vittori. It could be very close.
Yeah. It's like a Dragon Ball Z fight going on. They're just landing strikes.
Ooh, loving the focus from Jack here. Coming up very, very, very nice. But Vittori responding in kind. He's fighting the button for those punches he's putting there right now. And he's staying out of the range for Jack. Good on him, dude.
Vittori, man, he's just. He actually is like. They're both at it right now.
I have to agree. And Dane Donovan says these guys are in shape.
Mm-hmm.
That's a nice way of putting it, my friend.
For real. Wow. Her Manson just landed a really beautiful combo. Man, what a war.
Yeah, MMA Fighting says Hermanson trying to go for home run swings on every one of these punches.
For real, I don't blame him, man.
Well, if you're not certain of how it's going to play out with the judges, this is a pretty compelling way to try and close up the distance.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they judge it as Vittori's fight if Hermanson doesn't end it.
Agree. How was the commentary tonight? Because I did notice tonight it was with, you got, I think it was Felder, Dom Cruz, and Anik on the call here tonight. How was that going for you?
I love it, man. I feel like they're the all-star team right now.
You feel like
Felder and Dominic Cruz as commentary, and Anik is a great play-by-play.
Yeah, I do enjoy Dominic Cruz as much as people like giving him shit. I'm always kind of like, man, you guys don't like him because he's smart. And like, yeah, I get that he can be a dick about it, but I think it's just because he gets tired of being around some of these people. He's like, hey, everybody, could you shut up real quick? I'm going to tell you exactly what's happening. Like it or not, I'm right.
He's one of the greatest of all time in the bantamweight division. Who doesn't want to listen to him when it comes to striking and very like those analytics and like footwork? He knows what he's talking about.
It says you forgot Cruz' ego. Yeah, dude, I clearly put that out there, man. He is not afraid to be full of himself. But you know what? I don't ask fighters to always be super humble. That's a weird qualifier that we need to put in there.
Hey, man, it's a short man's complex. You know? You gotta have a big ego if you're short.
And
I don't.
We are seeing some comments. I'm sorry, dude. I know. I like the idea that you're like, yeah, you know those short guys with their ego. Except me.
Yeah, I'm just like, whatever.
I like this. Cruz and his ego have different social security numbers. Hey, man, if that's all the more reason to have an ego. I think you just made a compelling argument to really be full of yourself, so that way you can collect two forms of soch here.
For real, dude, that sounds like a good taxing. Like, if you're gonna fill out your taxes, that's your dependent right there. Boom, tax break. Man, what a war.
I mean, these guys are tired, but they really have been giving it to us for as long as they can possibly muster.
Yeah, dude. They're trying to, like, give the amount of time that this fight card was supposed to be.
Yep.
In this fight.
It's one of the few times that the UFC truck is like, this fight's going as what we thought it would go. What a strange night. All right, I mean, do you guys? We're fine.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I thought this was going to be the first time where ESPN Plus was just going to go straight to college football with their live stream.
Yeah, I know. Well, we're coming up last minute worth right now. On your clock, you're probably inching down from it, which means they will probably go the distance here.
I am not sure yet. Well, probably, yeah. There's like 18 seconds left on my clock.
But that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's close enough where they're standing upright, but just barely.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
Oh, man, nope. That was close, though. Wow, what an end. That was nice.
Yep, of course. He's going to go straight to his greatest hits of trying to finish this heel hook. But, dude, it is worth letting somebody try to attack if you're going to end up possibly with the win here. And it looks like Vittori did his homework in terms of avoiding that heel hook. And Jack looks like he is feeling the effects of going through that fight. I wonder if he is okay. Is he hobbling on over? Yes, he is.
Yeah, he's limping like crazy.
Wow. What a fight indeed.
That was good.
Well, I do think that's going to be Vittori's fight to lose, but at what cost for Jack? Oh my god.
Oh man.
That was a
Especially
lot
with
to
the
take in.
judges. I think with the judges that are there, probably Vittori will win it by split decision.
Well, let's see where they're at, man, because
Yeah.
as we've seen a little bit earlier here tonight, they kind of just, they do their own thing. They march to their own drummer, we've seen here tonight. So stranger things have happened.
For sure.
All right,
Yeah,
well,
I-
let's start doing some branding. What can we expect from seeing? I know you've got Cover Your Mouth, you've got unemployed commentators, and Nasty and the Baby. So let's walk through what your latest thing that you put out there, sir. Would love to hear about it.
So I just did a video with Master Ken and Jamie Kilstein that is out now on YouTube. Be sure to check out Unemployed Commentators. We did a video with Master Ken that will be out this upcoming week. If you love sports, listen to us. We're unemployed for a reason. We're just there to joke about sports. Then I got my solo podcast, Cover Your Mouth. If you ever like to listen to me, just bring on guests, comedians, and then Nasty and the Baby to see or listen to us, to me and Nate just ramble. And Vittori won this fight by unanimous decision. Was
Well,
crazy.
you said unanimous decision, but you wanted to cover your bases just in case the judges decided to fuck things up, which they've been prone to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
And
there's not.
Vittori is very emotional after that victory, though.
There's unfortunately. Oh man, I mean, I would be too, honestly.
Yeah, that was the worst.
Especially, we're talking about trying to climb the ranks back to getting where you want to be. That's a pretty good statement fight to make there tonight. He looked good. He obviously didn't get the finish, but I don't think you could fault him for anything he wasn't trying to do. I mean, he put it on Jack Hermanson, and we'll see what happens in a few days as he goes to continue going on up there. And Adam Woods, you're kind of saying what I'm saying, which is Joker took a huge risk by him being number 4 and Vittori being number 12. And I think you'll see something reflect that in the next few days. So we'll have to take a few, days to see what the UFC does with it. But I'm impressed, man.
For sure. I mean, it's tough because this was a last minute fight
Yeah.
too, so you can really it's tough. But I do see. I would love to see Vittori versus maybe Gaslam next.
Well, I think they are teammates, is what we saw. So I don't know
Oh,
that you're.
right.
I know it's one of the last names we said, but I like
Yeah.
that you're already being like, cool, he wished him good luck, let's make them fight.
I mean, hey, if Gilbert Burns is willing to fight Kamaru,
It's true. It's true. I see that. Okay, so you got all those podcasts. Appreciate you doing all of that, my friend. I just want to make sure, because we do have to wrap up shop, because here's what's going to happen. As soon as I'm done here with this broadcast, I'm going to end, and then I'm going to talk with Gary Tonin. That interview will not happen today for you guys. We're going to record it, and then it's going to air tomorrow. So you're going to want to see that. You will also be talking to Cade Rotolo, and he just came off a huge win at Combat Jiu-Jitsu's event that happened last week. So talk about getting shit done. That's what we do here on this show. We make sure that we get the interviews with the people you want to see and Gary Tonin.
for real.
And I'm not saying that Gary's a bad person. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like, we know better people. Is probably a good way of saying it. But let's look at this. Vittori is basically saying, to tell you the truth, I don't feel great. I don't think I did a very good job. I feel like I could do much better. What the fuck? Dude,
That was a war.
you looked great. I don't know who's telling this in his brain here tonight, but Jesus Christ. So thank you very much, Dane Donovan. Look out for those interviews tomorrow. I think you will truly enjoy it. And, I'm going to have a good time talking with Gary in a few, because it was the first time he went to decision himself. So that means we're going to have more fight to actually go over. And I think that's always way more entertaining to have a fighter kind of explain their mentality. And we got to see Gary test in a way we just haven't seen yet in MMA. So I'm pleased that we're going to be able to make that happen. Oh, I think Vittori just yelled out, "Let's go, motherfuckers." And I think he was yelling at them he was like, "Put me in the game." Now, I don't know how many times I'm yelling out, "Put me in, motherfuckers," but hey, here's what you have to look forward to when you see these things. And Dane Donovan says, "I'm going to check it out with Gary." Absolutely, man. And learn a little bit more about Cato Tolo, man, because these kids are the future. Those two brothers, I'm lucky that we're getting an interview in with them now because they're just starting their journey, at least on the pro circuit, and yet they're already people who are contenders. They are very close to being the guys that you will see run those ADCC kind of rounds. But lots of promise for those young kids.
They are the future for sure.
All right, G-Baby, here's what I'm going to do. Giancarlo, I'm going to do a quick sign-off here, but I'm going to say bye to you off air. But I want to thank you so much for tuning in. And not only that, but, obviously you're always supporting us. You're always giving us love. I know you're doing 1,000 different things. But I appreciate you giving us the nice review up front. And I'm so sorry we kept you waiting here today, but it was more than worth it to end my night like this, my man.
For sure, dude. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure having these conversations with you.
Likewise, dude. All right, I'll see you in just a second. But to everybody else watching here right now, again, I'm going to remind you. I just realized now you didn't hear any of that. All right, well, I just want to make sure that I repeat myself. I was trying to mute G-Baby, but I think I muted myself because I'm a genius. Anyway, here's what's happening. I'm going to remind you guys that tomorrow we'll have a brand new grappling hour. Go listen to Richie Martinez on the latest episode of Verbal Tap. Tomorrow we put out a new episode. It's going to be hot fire. We're going to be doing another installment of Over Under Kevin for UFC 256. And then you will go ahead and get some more content from us all throughout the week. We have so much love to give. We've got some new people that we've got set to interview a little bit later this week. But in the meantime, my name is Rafa Sparza. It's been a pleasure talking with you this evening. It's been a great day for grappling. We'll see you back on the mats. Eventually.